Previously, after a couple of fights, Kin Lai reunites with his girlfriend and friend. He becomes the strongest in the spirit realm, and Lai Mu invites him over to the Riot Land to find clues about his grandpa's whereabouts. And so his adventure starts, together with Zai Jingxian and the best waifu, Song Tingu. The horned human races from the Nether Realm that are planning to attack the Spirit Realm Bow at the site of Kin Lai's grandpa's statue. Kin Lai's grandpa, Qin Shan, helped the horned human race before, and they made him a respectable figure that is worth following. Lai Mu gives Kin Lai a sword symbol, which is a tool that he can use to find his grandpa. Lai Mu also gives 2 more symbols to Song Tingu and Zai Jingxian. The 3 of them must depart into the outer lands of the Chilin continent of the Spirit Realm, into the unknown lands of the Riot Land. After a few days of sailing, the group arrives at their first stop, an unnamed port city on the Riot Land outskirts. All types of strong creatures and beings inhabit the lands of Riot Land. As a lawless continent, everything goes here, hence the name Riot Land. According to Zhu Lai, the strongest in the Chilin continent, their hometown might be the weakest in Riot Land. While walking around town, Kin Lai sees an explosion coming from afar. He realizes it's a fire ripple, a special move that only one person he knows uses. Tang Siki, another waifu material. Kin Lai arrives at her location and saves Siki from an attack. Zhu Lai helps out and Song Tingu orders to immediately set sail. They know that if Kin Lai fights anyone in Riot Land, they won't make it that far, and so the group leaves the port immediately and deals with the thugs harassing Tang Siki. However, an entire fleet of enemies is now following them. Anyway, Kin Lai gets a shining forehead, and then suddenly, a headless giant appears in the middle of the ocean. Kin Lai's massive headache makes his forehead glow like the sun. Suddenly, the headless giant turns golden, and Heavenly Sword Mountain warriors attack head-on. Each of them is trying to get their hands on the holy body, the headless giant's name. Chaos ensues as everyone fights to get the treasure that the giant possesses. A few minutes later, the giant floats and powers up, absorbing the people around him. The vacuum is so powerful that Tang Siki is also getting absorbed. Kin Lai follows her and saves her, but the giant suddenly summons the blood flesh steel. Everyone rushes to the giant and guns for the steel. But in a surprising turn of events, Kin Lai unleashes his power and absorbs the giant steel. And so each one of the Riot Land clansmen turns their attention towards Kin Lai and attacks him in unison. But before things can turn sour and messy, Lai Mu arrives with his Heavenly Sword Mountain Island. He saves both Kin Lai and the rest of the group. All other clansmen run away at the sight of the floating island, and Kin Lai wakes up on the island HQ. Tang Siki explains to him what happened, but Luo Chen, Lai Mu's student, attacks Kin Lai, asking him to give him the steel Kin Lai stole from him. Lai Mu tries to calm everyone down, especially Luo Chen, who's really coping hard with Kin Lai being the protagonist, since he gets the powerful steel right after he arrives at the land. Lai Mu tells Kin Lai that they'll need to go to the secret battlefield, which is like a team-based competitive battle royale. Moving forward, Kin Lai, Zai Jingxian, and our waifu, Song Tingu, arrives at the portal. They join Luo Chen and the rest of the Heavenly Sword Mountain disciples as they enter the secret battlefield. Kin Lai's quest is to find the Holy Cemetery, a place filled with copious amounts of treasures. Before leaving, Lu Mai tells them that they should help each other to survive the perils on the battlefield. He mentions specifically to Luo Chen that he should learn from Kin Lai to further increase his power, so to speak. One by one, they arrive at the secret battlefield. However, Kin Lai spawns at some random location, far from any of his teammates. Wandering around, Kin Lai arrives at some volcanic area of the battlefield. While walking, he hears people behind him, and so he immediately hides. While hiding, he sees a man being chased by the wizard sect, raining projectiles upon him. One of the wizards knows that Kin Lai is hiding, and so they attack him too. Kin Lai gets out of his hiding spot and moves out, but the enemies corner him pretty badly. The wizard sect attacks him, but Kin Lai fights back. He creates multiple grenades, bombing his enemies at all once. Then Chu Lai, comes back to the scene and fends off the wizards. The two form a solid brotherhood relationship from the get-go and try to outrun the wizards. Unfortunately, the enemies corner them again. As the enemies approach the line, Kin Lai unleashes his grenades and bombs the living crisp out of their enemies, while Chu Lai shields both of them. After the fight, Kin Lai tells Chu Lai that he came from the Chilin continent into the Riot Land to find clues about his grandpa. But before they can get to know each other, a fire spirit awakens from his slumber and threatens to wreck the two of them. The fire spirit summons lava-filled metal golems and encircles the two warriors, and so the two fight them off one by one, and manage to destroy all of the golems. This enraged the fire spirit as he unleashes another set of golems to overpower the two fighters. This time, the golems are thrice as many as the enemies they just faced 2 minutes ago. The two try to flee, but the fire spirit keeps them locked in place by firing projectiles and his dragon breath. Qin Lai and Chu Lai both try to block the attack, but the spirit's power overwhelms them and breaks the shield they form. As the golem overpowers them, rays of brilliant light shine out of the stack of golems and it suddenly explodes into a large ray of energy, piercing the skies. Qin Lai stands at the center, absorbing the energy of the golems. The fire spirit didn't waste any time and attacks Qin Lai head-on. The two powers clash, and they're evenly matched as none are moving out of their place. And so the spirit shoves Qin Lai and blasts him with his fire-breathing attacks. Qin Lai blocks with his armament techniques. The clash of attacks creates a large smokescreen. Qin Lai uses to his advantage to attack the spirit in a blind spot. Qin Lai lands down with his Azrael bead and blood flesh steel activated. The spirit asks him, what is Qin Lai's relationship with Qin Shan, his grandpa? Qin Lai tells the spirit that Qin Yan is his gramps. The spirit immediately shrinks in size and addresses Qin Lai as young boss, telling him he's been waiting for Qin Lai's arrival. The spirit tells him that he doesn't know where his grandpa is and Qin Lai needs to find him himself before being absorbed by Qin Lai's Azrael bead. All the golems around him turn to dust and the steel goes back to his bead. Qin Lai and Chu Lai win, but Qin Lai has yet to find a clue about his grandpa. Chu Lai tells him he's strong and Qin Lai tells him that everything on Riot Land is related to his grandpa. Chu Lai tells him it's okay and he'll eventually find it. He also introduces himself and that he's from the Jai Mai sect, which is one of the sects that one of Qin Lai's techniques uses. Chu Lai proposes to be brothers from now on and Qin Lai agrees with him. Qin Lai tells him that he doesn't have time and that he needs to find his teammates soon. Chu Lai tells Qin Lai that he needs to contact his friends to know where they are. Upon using the symbol, it points out where Song Tingyu and Zai Jingxian are currently. The two immediately hear the distressed voice of Song Tingyu. There's an emergency, calling for Qin Lai's help. He rushes off in the direction that the symbol pointed out, and Chu Lai follows. Meanwhile, in another location, Song Tingyu is currently fighting for her life as a wood spirit possessed Zai Jingxian, and it's currently trying to kill her. The spirit attacks Song Tingyu multiple times. She dodges all of the attacks, except for the last one that sends her flying. Luckily for her, Qin Lai arrives just in time. He tries to flee with Weifu in his arms, but the spirit manages to catch Song Tingyu, and so Qin Lai and Chu Lai team up to save her. Qin Lai asks where Zai Jingxian is and Song Tingyu points out to the wood spirit, who possessed her. Upon hearing this, Qin Lai rushes forward to save Zai Jingxian while the two provide support. However, an unexpected guest arrives and attacks Chu Lai, and his name is John C. Nah, it's just Luo Chen again. As the fight goes on, Chu Lai struggles to assist Qin Lai and fights off Luo Chen. Qin Lai, on the other hand, goes to 1v1 the wood spirit. Qin Lai charges forward to do a Rasengan on the wood spirit, but the spirit impales him, immobilizing him completely. Chu Lai ditches Luo Chen and goes after Qin Lai to save him. Luo Chen and the rest of the Heavenly Sword Mountain disciples form a triangle and mount a group attack. Chu Lai blocks the attack, but the spirit captures him as well. Impaled and unable to do anything, Qin Lai thinks of what to do. Suddenly, he glows up once again, destroying the wooden pikes, and goes after the wood spirit again. Qin Lai summons his steel and does that powerful Kamehameha once again to attack the spirit, freeing Song. Upon seeing his steel, Luo Chen orders another group attack directed at Qin Lai. Qin Lai attacks once more and frees Chu Lai, blasting off the formation of the Heavenly Sword Mountain group. Qin Lai descends with Song and he gets headaches again. As the wood spirit launches the wood spikes at the two, the wooden statue of his grandpa shines again, preventing the wood spirit from attacking them. The wood spirit frees Zai Jingxian and recognizes the statue. The spirit tells Qin Lai that his grandpa helped clean the miasma in the forest years ago. He'll tell him everything he knows soon enough once the powers come back to the spirit. The spirit gets absorbed and everything's back to normal now, except for one thing, Luo Chen. Luo Chen tries to attack Qin Lai, but Chu Lai stops him. Qin Lai reminds Luo Chen that he's not an enemy and tells him about what Lu Mai said before they went to the battlefield. Luo Chen leaves afterward. A few minutes later, Zai Jingxian wakes up and tells them what happened. They tried to take a bath at the sacred vitality lake of some sort, and they got ambushed in the process. After clearing up what happened, a lone survivor from the Heavenly Sword Mountain arrives at the group's location, asking for help. The survivor asks them for help, But before he can explain everything, a sword from another Heavenly Sword Mountain disciple stabs him in the back, killing him. The group arrives at the scene where the friendly fire is on for the Heavenly Sword Mountain disciples. Each disciple is fighting for each one of their own. Zai Jingxian realizes that they're probably being controlled, which Chu Lai further reinforces. The group didn't get to rest as they were attacked by the disciples. The four of them try to subdue their teammates, but Luo Chen appears and attacks them, relentlessly killing a lot of his classmates. Luo Chen focuses on Qin Lai and attacks him with a rain of sword projectiles. Chu Lai rushes to Qin Lai's aid and helps him from blocking the barrage of attacks. Meanwhile, Zai Jingxian manages to disable one of the disciples, revealing a more sinister threat, an exploding worm, which acts as a parasite that controls their classmates. Chu Lai tells them it's the Dark Wizard Sex Worm, which is the tool that they use to control their enemies without breaking a sweat. Even Luo Chen is affected by the said worm, and so Qin Lai blasts him with lightning, removing the control. Luo Chen goes wild and pleads with them to kill him, before transforming into a giant cockroach. Luo Chen, in his cockroach form, summons a barrage of swords and then he rains it down on his classmates, killing everyone. Chu Lai tells Qin Lai that attacking him with thunder will probably remove control, and so Qin Lai goes after Luo Chen, while the three support him from behind. Qin Lai summons his steel again, charging it up while the trio is guarding him. After completing the charge, Qin Lai sends a Kamehameha to Luo Chen, who is now a giant sword, resulting in a massive explosion. Luo Chen's back to normal, but is now in his devastated state. Luo Chen looks around and sees the catastrophe he brought upon and the damage he did to his classmates. Luo Chen breaks down and tries to end his life. Qin Lai stops him and tells him his death will be a great disservice to his classmates. His death isn't meant to be an apology, but an insult to them. Qin Lai and the gang bury the dead. Meanwhile, Luo Chen just watches over them while thinking about what Lu Mai had told him before. Realizing he's so damn stupid, Luo Chen finally accepts he's dumb as a brick and tells Qin Lai that he'll help around. Once they're done cleaning up and burying everyone, Luo Chen thanks Qin Lai. However, it's not over yet. Zai Jingxian informs them that Luo Chen will only last a few hours before being completely consumed again by the worm. Chu Lai tells them that the only way to stop it from happening is to kill the host, or to kill the Dark Worm Mother, which is basically the Dark Wizard sex leader. With the objectives clear, Luo Chen kneels one last time and promises to avenge the death of his brothers and sisters. Qin Lai and the group will now head back to the battlefield with one goal in mind: to eliminate Yi Hao, the Dark Wizard sex leader, and save Luo Chen before his time runs out. This is all for this anime. Give the video a like, and I will see you in the next minutes.